let's start driving it better. You know the old cliche, drive for show, putt for dough. We're starting to find out that driving's pretty important, maybe more important than actually putting. Because if you don't get the hole started off properly and get your ball in position, it doesn't matter. If you get to the green and you make your one putt for a triple bogey, well, that isn't very good scoring. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 2 tips that I need you to do actually on the golf course. This is kind of a golf course driving lesson. Of course, you can practice it on the range too, but I need you to understand how to approach good driving on the golf course. So on that note, let's go ahead and get started. So in this video, the 2 tips I'm going to talk about in order to drive the ball better on the golf course. The only problem is these 2 tips, if you are a hooker of the ball, if you're hooking the ball or hitting it pretty hard left, these 2 tips are not going to help that. So if for some reason you're hooking it, that's going to take a little bit of a fix it. Maybe your grip's strong. There's some other elements that can happen, but I can address that problem maybe in another video, okay? But all the other problems you have with driving the ball well on the golf course or being consistent on the golf course, this video, these 2 tips will address those problems. The first tip I need you to do is you need to understand the club face, all right? So the secret is, or the feeling I want you to feel when you're out in the golf course, or the mental picture that I need you to do is I want you to visualize the club face being de-lofted. Okay, notice I didn't say open. I don't actually like the term of the club face being open, because if I tell a person that I need them to close the club face, that's kind of a rolling. It could be the wrist could set up incorrectly and flip over and it changes path and it messes everything up. So I always tell my students that I want them to feel as though they're de-lofting the club face. Of course that looks closed, but look, I've taken the loft off instead of lofted and de-lofted, because most amateur golfers, they're trying to get the ball up. So the reason why the club face is open is not because they're leaving it open, because they assume they want the ball to go up. So if you tell them to de-loft it, of course they will close it a little bit. But in the driver, what I want you to feel is not only de-lofting it, but I want you to feel as though you're hitting the ball high in the club face and rolling it off the bottom with de-loftedness. Again, if it was lofted and you hit it up here, it would roll up the club face. So if you visualize hitting the ball high on the club face, a little bit high center obviously, and rolling it down off the bottom, the club face is going to believe it's de-lofting itself to roll it off the bottom. So that's tip number 1. The second tip now is the pre-shot routine. I want you to do a specific pre-shot routine for the driver while you're out on the golf course. And what I want you to do is, I don't want you to take your practice swing next to the ball. I need you to take it behind it, okay? So I'm behind the golf ball here, and if I draw an imaginary line from the ball to the target back here, I need you to stand slightly inside that target line, which is to the left for a right-handed golfer, and take your practice swing from here. And I'll explain why. So if you're back on the target line and inside the target line relative to the golf ball, I need you to take your practice swing where you take it up to the top, drop the arms first, and this is where you start to de-loft the club face. So when you're up the top, let the club face facing down. See, I've taken the loft off. We don't want it lofted. Now notice that closes the club face, but it didn't disrupt. When I think of de-lofting, the club head doesn't wander, it just falls de-lofted. If I think it's open and I close it, look at that. That club head's possibly over the top and moving off plane. All right, so what I need you to do is, again, I'm choking up in the club so you can see it in the video. Take it up to the top, drop it de-lofted back here behind you. Do it again one more time, and then swing through. The other important thing is you need to do it while looking at the ball. Do not look at the ground here. Too many amateur golfers are always trying to scrape the ground. Well, the driver, I told you, with the de-lofted face, we want to hit it high and roll it off the bottom, so we're actually going to hit up on the driver a little bit, okay? So we're not going to be brushing the grass where the ball is, because that's a pop-up. All right, we're going to be swinging up on the ball a little bit. So again, inside the target line, okay, pump, de-loft, de-loft, look at that golf ball, swing through. The good thing about the pre-shot being back here, first of all, is the ball's off to the right. So it helps you do three things feel-wise, okay, that allows you to swing what I would call on plane and get the proper weight shift. So if you're back here to the inside and you're doing your practice swing, de-lofted, and swinging through, first of all, get your path. If you're looking at that ball over there, you're going to swing out to the ball, okay? The second part is probably your extension is going to be pretty good, because why? You're trying to hit that ball. You're not trying to brush the ground here. Again, that's why I don't want you to stand next to the ball and take your practice swing, because you'll be aiming at the grass and you're going to feel all bunched up, and you might be backing away trying to brush the grass because it feels more back. And we don't want you to do that. That's where a lot of bad habits happen. If you take your practice swing with the driver on the side, you're sitting there aiming at the grass. Look how bunched up my arms are, and look how I don't want to go through it because I'm looking at the grass. Pros, we don't look at the grass. What we do is we're trying to take a practice swing that will hit the ball well, and we're usually taking it up in the air, brushing no grass, and then we get up to the ball, then we let it find the ball, and we hit a good shot. I've taken videos of amateur golfers where they're taking this practice swing and they brush the grass, go, boy, if I could just do that, I'd hit the ball so good. But I've taken a video of them and I show them that, hey, that ball would be so crooked, there's no way you're going to make that swing anyway. So that's why you're not finding the grass. It's a bad swing, and it knows it will be crooked. So then it has to move out of the way and come up, and you might top it, and obviously a lot of bad things can happen. So back to the three good things again that happen if you take your practice swing behind it in the inside. Pump, de-lofted, swing through. I told you about arm extension. I told you about swing path, and try to guess what? Look at the weight shift. I also get the weight shift going the right direction. So if you do your practice swing back here and use these two elements I just talked about, de-loft, which is actually squaring the club face, all right, de-loft and swing through, I got great extension. If I'm watching that ball, I got great weight shift, and of course I got great path. Let's go to apply it and let's see what happens. Got my line inside it. Boom, boom. Practice swing. Okay, gonna roll it off the bottom, right? Get on up. And there we go. Little baby draw right down the middle. Again, one of the big secrets that pros do very well is we understand how to de-loft that club. We don't want to loft the club. If you need it higher, we hit it through different body positions to hit higher, but we always are trying to hit this club face with less loft than it started. So again, recap, tip number one, I need you to feel as though you're de-lofting the club so you can hit it high on the club face and roll it off the bottom. I know that sounds crazy like a top shot, but it's just a feel, it's a visualization. I promise you it will not top the ball, okay? If you hit it high on the club face and visualize it rolling down off the bottom with lack of loft, like this, okay, don't worry, compression and squeezing and compressing that ball will make it go up. And then if you do your pre-shot back here, it's going to control your path, it's going to control your weight shift, it's going to control your extension, give you good rhythm, going to hit a great shot, okay? And it's going to start that hole off properly. You're going to be able to score better, and then you can work on your putting and make birdies instead of putting for triple bogeys. So if you like these types of tips and you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. I will see you on the links. Keep hitting those good drives, bombing it out there. See you next time.